Hello dollies, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a DIY. We're going to be making this. If you're into like Cutecore room decorations or kawaii decorations, you've probably seen this. I've seen actually quite a few people having this in their room, like just in the background of videos and TikToks and stuff. So, you can get it off Amazon. So if you want easy way out, just get it off Amazon. But if you want to make it yourself, I'll show you how. I didn't know how to do this, okay? I just looked at the picture from Amazon and I was like, I think this is how it's done. I haven't been trained in any of this stuff, like sewing and stuff. My grandma taught me how to like hand stitch when I was really young, and I just kind of remembered that, and it actually turned out really great. But I'm going to show you where you can get all the supplies. I'm going to show you where you can get all the supplies for cheap. Walmart and Dollar Tree. You could do this in one day, 1 or 2 days. It took me 3 or 4 days because I can't sit still. Let's get started. Let's go get the ingredients. Supplies.
So I got a yard of fabric from Walmart. They have all different kinds. You can use patterns, or they even have the silk kind, but I just got a plain pink. For a while I was looking around for stuff to make the plushies with and cord to go through it. Found this macrame kind. You can also use a thicker yarn, but I found this cord, so I did the cord. I ended up getting the fluffy fabric from Dollar Tree, so it was a lot cheaper, so I would suggest doing that. But also they have fabrics you could use that you could actually sew together. Instead of getting a yard at Walmart, you could actually get all the fabric at Dollar Tree. To make things easier, so you only have to stitch one big line, make sure to cut on the fold. So fold your fabric, and where it folds, where it's already attached, you're going to cut the other end of that. Since this already has a line because it's been folded, I'm just going to cut along that fold. So as you see, when I pull it apart, it's one big piece, but I fold it. I'm going to sew along the open side of it. Then I'm going to line up my little ropes and then place them where I would like them, so I can get an idea of what I want it to look like. So I ended up placing them 4 inches apart, and then on each end there's a 3-inch allowance so they come in 3 inches. That's when they start on each side, and they're 4 inches apart, give or take a little. This is really up to you on how you want to put them, but that's what I did. I'm gonna explain a little better of how to make a stitch. You make a knot on the end of the thread, then you pull all the way through till the knot catches. Then you are going to get really close to that first thread. You can see like where you pull through the thread, right next to where you pulled down, but not through the same hole. Make a hole right next to it that's super close to the thread that you just made. Pull up all the way through till it catches. Then you're going to make a little tiny line or a stitch. Move your needle over a little bit, and you make that tiny little stitch. Then you pull all the way down, and then you just keep doing that. Remember where you put those red marks to hop over them and make a really big stitch so you can be able to stick your rope in later. So with your rope, you're going to do a tapered effect. You're going to make 2 of the same sizes on each side, and then you're going to increase down on the inches, and then you're going to have 4 on each side and then just 1 for the middle of one size. Also, don't forget that stitch. I forgot it I think 2 times, and that I had to deal with that later on, but if you don't forget to hop over that red line and make a big stitch, you'll be okay. Here I am turning inside out because I finally finished hand stitching the main part that goes on the rod. And what you'll do after you're done is you'll just flip it inside out, and you won't be able to see the stitches. Now it's time to cut out our shapes. We're going to do circles first, and what I did, make sure that you turn your fabric inside out, fold it so you'll get 2 pieces when you cut, but make sure the fuzzy part is in the inside and the rough part is on the outside. So you're going to find something that's circular and measure it, or you can just do a 3-inch circumference, however you say that, circle, or however big or small you would like it. I just used my icebreaker container and I just drew around it to make a circle, and I made sure to fold it so I would get 2 pieces so I wouldn't have to cut out as many circles. Now you're going to sew around, stitch like I showed you with the other stuff. Sew around in a circle, but make sure that you have a big stitch on the top and the bottom, wherever the top of the bottom you would like it. Just, you need 2 big stitches, one at the top of your circle and the bottom of your circle, so you can turn it inside out, but also put it on the rope, like pull the rope through the circle. Also make sure before you start sewing that the fuzzy parts are on the inside, so when you turn it inside out, the fuzzy part will be on the outside. Get chopsticks or a pencil or something to stuff your circles with stuffing, or stuffing. Then you will want to put your chopstick or pencil back through it to make sure that you can pull the rope through. You'll basically just make a way for your rope to pull through. So I just move the stuffing around. I'm also tying off my end from my stitching, so I'm pulling through my fabric and then looping and making a knot. And I do this twice so the stitching will not come out. Make sure you do this with all of your stuffies, and so your stitches won't come out. You have to pull through, make a loop, go underneath that loop, pull, and it will make a knot, and then you're going to do that twice. Now it's time to put our first circle on one of our ropes. Remember your pattern. Write down your pattern so you don't mess it up, of each pattern on each rope that you're going to do. You can follow my pattern or you can make your own, however you would like to do it. But yeah, I put my first circle on the rope. I'm surprised that this worked, but yeah, let's just keep doing it. Now it is time to cut our hearts. Make sure you fold your fabric so you'll get 2 instead of 1, and just start cutting. We're going to sew our hearts. Remember, at the top and the bottom of your hearts, you're going to make that big stitch again, so it will create a larger hole so you can pull it through later. Now with the bows, we're going to stitch, make a big hole, and then another one at the top and the bottom. Okay, right here I wanted my hearts to have more of a deep V look, so it looked more like a heart. So I pulled through on my heart on one side and then went all the way to the other side before, you know, the big dip in the heart, and I pulled through, and then I pulled my thread really tight so it made the two ends get closer together so it looked more like a heart. Okay, now we're gonna make these rectangles look like bows. So what I did is I put my needle through one side of the rectangle. Then I made a knot so as to hold it there. Then I'm going to go down one side of the rectangle, and I'm gonna basically go in and out and in and out, only on one side. Basically like weaving in and out. So I'm going to poke the needle through, then push the needle down and puncture through that one half again, then push it back out, and then weave in and out 3 or 4 times. Then I'm going to pull my thread all the way down, and since we tied it at the top, it's going to bunch and kind of look like a bow. And then you're going to do that same thing on the other side. You're going to weave in and out on the other side, and then pull all the way through, and then you're going to bunch it. And then you're going to take your thread and then wrap it around the whole center of the rectangle. Oh my goodness. And then you're going to go through your thread, pull through, make a loop, go through that loop, pull tight to make a knot. Here's why we made those big stitches, is because it leaves a little hole for us to push our rope through or cord through. We're going to push it through, then we're going to reach our hand down through one of the sides of the curtain, and then we are going to, like where the knot is, only pull out where the knot is. Then you're going to go in and out, making little stitches through the cord and through the fabric and make little knots. Basically sewing the cord to the fabric on the inside. So you like pull through the little hole and stitch it in on the inside. I'm basically just going in and out through the fabric and the cord to sew them to each other. Then you're gonna wrap around the cord, make a loop, go through the loop, make a knot, do that twice. I always do that twice to 3 times just to make sure, and then just cut it off. At this point, I was halfway done. I just had to put together the other cords, put everything on them, make sure everything's okay. Also, if you made your hole at the top and the bottom of your plushies too big, you can, once you put them on your cord, sew those holes closed a little more, like make them a little tighter. But it will be easy to move up and down on your cords if you want the better placement, like if you don't like how they are. Or you can just sew them to the cords if you have exactly where you want them. If you don't want them to move at all, just sew them to your cords. So you're going to go through the fabric of your plushie, then through the cord, and then go in and out just so you can sew them to each other. I was in the home stretch here. I had my last ones to put on, sew on, and I just could not sit still. It was so hard to get this finished. So I suggest if you can stand and sew, because like when you're hand stitching things, you're not stuck in one place. So get up and walk around while you're stitching. I'm already done, and here's how it looks. Okay, dolls, here we are. Here we have it. It's all done. It turned out so good. I don't know how I figured out how to do this. All I had was this one picture, and I noticed that like the threads were going through the thing. So I was like, how am I gonna do that? So this might be a little tricky at first, but you'll get the hang of it. Pro tip, don't overstuff your stuffies. You can do stars. I just didn't do stars because I felt like that would be a little hard. Like I said, this is nothing not a right way, I guess a right way or a technical way to do things. I just looked at the picture and this is what I came up with. And that's kind of just how I make things. I just try to look at something and figure out how to make it. And also you can push pin it above your doorway if you don't have like a little like allowance between the door and the frame. Those rods are like $1.98 or so at Walmart, so they're very, cheap to get. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you want more kawaii DIYs or Cutecore DIYs, just let me know. My next video will probably be another Five Below haul. So yeah, comment down below other things you would like me to make. Thank you guys so much for watching, and bye bye.